So, morning everybody. As you may know or not know, today is World Kidney Day. Yay! So today we are trying to spread as much awareness as we can about our kidney disease. Now, all of March is Kidney Awareness Month, but we are trying to make that every day. Every day should be kidney awareness. Every day we should be spreading awareness, making people more aware of the effects and causes and way to prevent it and things like that. So in this video I'm going to be telling you my kidney story, and today I'm actually getting a blood pressure monitor fitted onto me as well, so I'm going to try and add a clip of that in if I can, and also I'm going to tell you some ways you can, some symptoms and things like that to make you more aware of things to look out for in case you're at risk of having chronic kidney disease. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you about my kidney story, okay? So, excuse me, I have a bit of a cold. So, I am 22 years at present. So, whenever I was born the 3rd of July 1995. So, when I was born completely fine. I was born maybe 2 or 3 days early, I think, but I was a good weight. I was a big baby. I was 10 pound 1. Yeah, I was a bruiser. I was a big baby. And I was healthy and everything was fine. At the birth, my mum had a bad hemorrhage, but that was well, I don't know if that was anything to do with me or not, but me as a baby, I was completely fine. So that was okay. Until I hit 3 years old, and this is my earliest memory. I remember this day like it was yesterday. So what happened was, my family were all, like my granny and my granny's sister and my mum's cousins, we were all down in our kitchen. We were watching Fawlty Towers. Let me know in the comments below if you know what that show is. So we were watching that and I had a burning temperature, I had pain, I was vomiting, I couldn't get my, I was shivering, I just wasn't feeling well. And my granny said, you better get her to the out of hours doctor. So my mum rang up and I went straight up to A&E or ER if you're in America. And they did a few tests and stuff, and it ended up being a kidney infection. So then discovered that I had chronic kidney disease, stage 3, and it was like the earlier stages of stage 3. So that was okay. It was a big shock because nobody in my family have any elements like that. No one else has kidney disease, no one else, everybody else in my family are relatively healthy, so it was a big shock. So they sent me off to a consultant, of course, and this was when I was 3, so from 3 upwards up till about 8, the amount of procedures that I went through is extraordinary. Now, it's just the same with any sick child, you have to get tests done, you have to get procedures done to see what the possible outcomes of treatment will be. So for me, I had to get dye tests done, which was whenever you get dye either injected up into your bladder, and that was to check for reflux into my kidneys, which I had to get dye tests done. I had to get catheters placed in, which is a small tube inserted up into your bladder, and it's to see how your bladder if it empties right and things like that. So I had to get that done. I had to get ultrasounds, I had to get MRI scans, CT scans, I had to get countless blood tests done. Oh, the list just goes on. I had to get it was unbelievable. And to be honest, that's what most of my childhood is. I remember being in hospital, and that's really it. I don't really have the best memories of my childhood. Now, in saying that, I had the best possible childhood ever. I'm not saying that, but unfortunately this is just what I can remember most of the time because it's been such a big part of my life. I just remember being in hospital a lot. So I was in hospital a lot when I was younger. And I remember one time I was getting a catheter placed and I was awake. And because I had to see how my bladder would retract and because I had to tighten my bladder muscles and things like that, so I needed to be awake for it. And I love Disney, as you all know, and they put on the Lion King thing, and oh, she'll watch this, she'll be grand, she'll watch the Lion King. So they put on the Lion King and they're like, oh hell, look, there's Simba. And then they tried to like put the tube up, and then I screamed and screamed and screamed, because if you've ever had a catheter, oh, it's just the most, they are very painful, uncomfortable, and oh, I just hate them. But anyway, so like, oh look, there's the Lion King, watch the Lion King. I'm like, girl, well, I can't concentrate on the Lion King, you're putting something into my body, I can't concentrate on the Lion King. So I actually remember that they put it up and connected to the wrong tube, so I had to take it out again and put it back up again, and oh my goodness, it was a complete nightmare. And ever since that day, I actually, anytime that they mention catheter, I get flashbacks, I have panic attacks, I just have really bad trauma from them experiences, and I've had to have them since a good few times, but they're just not good experiences. So that was from, let's see, so that was just from 5 till 8, right? So I'll tell you a wee bit in between. When I started school then, of course, because of my kidneys, I would like, if I needed to go to the toilet, I needed to go to the toilet there and then. So what happened then was that I would have a lot of accidents, and I had no control over them, no control whatsoever. Like, as I said, if I needed to go to the toilet, I needed to go there and then, and if I didn't make it in time, that was it. So I remember I got bullied a lot in primary school, and this was when I was very young, like P1, P2 and all them ages. P2 was my worst though. I was only 6 years old, and they used to call me smelly. They used to not invite me to birthday parties because of it. They used to say, oh, you can't play with us because you're wet, or you're a baby, you wet yourself, or you know, you smell too badly, you can't play with us and all this here. And I remember I found it very, very difficult to make friends, and that sort of thing, it stays with you. Like, it does stay with you. And throughout the years, even when I went to high school, I was like, oh my goodness, like, I can still remember. And when I went to high school, I did go with a few of my primary school friends, but I was like, I'm not gonna make any more friends, and not for them reasons, as I'll explain in a minute, but when it comes to new people now, I'm like, oh gosh, what if they really don't like me? And you know, bullying does stick to you, and it does harm you. So please always be kind. And like, I know kids can be very, very mean, and I know maybe at 6 years old they mightn't have understood things, but it still doesn't give them the right to go around and say someone's smelly, or you can't come to my birthday party, you can't play our game because of this. And I obviously didn't understand what was wrong with me. I felt really, really different. I didn't feel normal, and I just hated it. But anyway, that was from P6. That was whenever I was in P2. So fast forward up until I was 6 there, so 7. And we had a consultant called Dr. Potts. And he basically said, nope, there's nothing I can do, she's just gonna have to live with it, you know, it's just the way things are. Live with this. Oh my days, I was struggling in primary school. Could you imagine adulthood with this? I was like, oh my goodness. But obviously at 7 years old, I was just like, I don't know what he's talking about. What was he talking about? Like, so my parents found this unacceptable. They were so mad at him. They're like, how can you leave her like this? She's no control over her bladder, she's constantly getting infections, her kidneys are just gonna get worse. So they couldn't accept it. So we got a second opinion, and we came across Dr. Bailey. And before you ask, no, that's not why my dog's called Bailey, it's just a coincidence. It's not why I'm called my dog Bailey. But anyway, we came across a doctor called Dr. Bailey, and he basically saved my life. I am so blessed that we came across him. Like, to this day, I still thank him so much, because he did improve my life a lot. Now, he didn't fix everything, but he did improve my life a lot. So whenever I was 8 years old, he was like, look, there is something I can do. We can operate on her, because I actually didn't mention this at the start, sorry. I was born with 3 kidneys. Yes, I got greedy. Yes, I was born with 3 kidneys. So I had 2 on my right hand side and 1 on my left hand side. So the thing was, I should have explained this at the start, sorry. But the thing was that the part of my second kidney on my right hand side, it was causing a lot of damage to my right kidney, and it was just basically killing it. It was basically killing my kidney. And so what they had to do was they had to cut me open and they had to remove tubes and remove part of that kidney. So I have a very big scar now at the side, and I'll show you that later in the video. But anyway, so he was basically saying, look, we'll operate on her, we'll but the only thing about that was, because it was such a big surgery, there was obviously consequences, and they're very big ones. So as any operation, you have to be told what can go wrong. And because this is such a big operation, there was a lot that could go wrong. So they told my parents, because obviously I was 8, so I was again like, well, I don't know what's going on. But they told me as well, but I didn't understand. So they told my parents that because it was such a big operation, that there could be a lot of blood loss. You could potentially die from it. As any operation, you could potentially die from it. But the big one was that if things didn't work out, they could leave me completely incontinent for the rest of my life. Which means that I had no control over my bladder as it was, but if it left me completely incontinent, then that was it. That was it. If I had to go, I would literally just go. It was a really bad, big decision, and I cannot actually thank my parents enough for making the decision to go through with it, because I actually can't imagine how scary that would have been. Like, you have the decision to either help your child to possibly get better or else possibly get worse. It's literally a 50-50 gamble. I honestly don't know what I would have done in that situation, and I'm so grateful for my parents. I thank them every single day. They did make the right decision, and I just can't imagine. I remember my mum telling me she just prayed, and she just had to put her faith in God that everything would work out. She honestly, they'd both for months, well, not for months, they'd actually, yes, for months, they had months to decide, and they didn't know what to do, but they just sort of thought, right, we have to give it a chance. If we don't do anything, she will stay like this. If we do something, she could possibly get better, and so you just have to take a gamble. So that's what they done, and thankfully they decided, yes, we'll give it a go. So I remember the day of my operation, and before that, they were like, can we go on holidays? And he was like, yeah, take her on holidays. Now, this wasn't like through Make-A-Wish Foundation or anything like that. They just wanted to take me on holidays, and we got to go a month. Was it a month? No, 3 weeks before my operation. So we went to Disneyland Paris. Best place on earth, but we went to Disneyland Paris, and it was brilliant. But anyway, I remember my day of my operation. I remember playing, so whenever you're a kid in the children's hospital, you go into like this wee room, and the child specialist, they come in with you, and like they distract you, and talk you through what's going to happen. You're going to go to sleep, and a doctor's going to cut you open and fix you and make you better. So that's basically what they say. They don't go into detail of what can go wrong. They basically just say you're going to go to sleep, and then the doctor's going to make you feel better. That's it. And you're going to wake up very sore and all, but you will be better. So I remember I was in there, and my play specialist was called Claire, and I loved her so much. And at this point, when I was in there, my daughter took my mum and dad aside and asked one last time, are you sure this is what you want to do? And they said yes. They said yes. So I went in, and I remember my mum was with me when I went to sleep. So they put the gas mask on you and say, oh, I bet you can't count from 10 backwards. So you're like, oh, I can, 1, 2, or 10, 9, you're passed out because of the heat, the mask, the gas mask. And I specifically remember it was strawberry, and it was wrong. Wrong! They were like, oh, do you want orange or strawberries? And I was like, oh, I love strawberries. I'll go for strawberries. I was like, this smells raw. And I'm like, oh, and then it just felt like. So I remember my mum was there holding my hand when I fell asleep, and then again when I woke up. So it just seemed like she was never there, or never left. And when they were younger, they told me, oh, Mummy, you were there the whole time, and it makes you just feel so much better. Anyway, so that was that operation, and then I was in bed then for a week. I was catheterized because obviously I couldn't get up to go to the bathroom or anything like that, so I was in bed for a week, and I had to get an epidural into my back to make sure that it was like to numb things. So whenever, you know, it was to help numb things. I don't, you know, to be honest, I can't actually remember the reason. I just remember it was like sort of to numb things and sort of help me while I was in bed. I'm so sorry, I can't actually properly remember the reason because this was, what, 14 years ago now? But I got an epidural anyway, and I had to get it put in, and then you have to get it back out again, so it's not one that stays in. And I remember the pain of it, and it was unbearable and everything. So again, I remember getting 6 things of blood every day, and then, excuse me, after the week then, I remember getting out of bed for the first time and just collapsing. And I remember everybody ran over like, oh my god, look at her scar, watch. But it was because my legs were so weak and I hadn't been walking for a week, and you know, it's just what's going to happen. And I thought, because they were like, oh, well, hold on, Joe. I was like, no, I'll do this. I can walk. I was like, I can do this. Nope, collapsed. So yeah, so it was literally like no, it wasn't learning how to walk again, but for that first walk to the toilet, I felt, oh my goodness, my legs were jelly. I was like, I'm not going to be able to walk again. But of course I did, you know, it was just building my muscles up again. That was grand after that afternoon. But yes, so that was when I was 8, and then fully recovered. Everything was fine. What happened was they did remove part of my kidney and the extra tubes, and that were causing infection. So this stopped infections for a good number of years. I didn't have any kidney infections for a good number of years. I still had leakage. I still had the urgency that I needed to go to the toilet, and I needed to go, but I had a bit more, I could hold on better. So if I needed to go to the toilet, I would need to go, and I would leak a bit. I would leak, but I wouldn't just full on wet myself, you know. I had a bit more muscle strength, so it was successful in a way. So, and it slowed down the progression of my kidney disease. So it was actually a huge success in many ways. So, but unfortunately with chronic kidney disease, there's no cure. So if you get operations and things, you know, they may help you, like me, they may improve your quality of life to a certain extent, but it can't, you know, it can't cure things. So I'm still very blessed to have the operation. I'm still very blessed to have come across Dr. Bailey, because if it wasn't for him, oh, I wouldn't even like to imagine, like, I could be on dialysis right now. My kidney function could be way at the floor. My bladder, I don't know if I would even, I struggle with depression and anxiety right now. It's actually scared to think of where I would be. I don't think I'd have any confidence in myself whatsoever. So thank you, Dr. Bailey, so much for saving my life. So fast forward on through the years, yes, as I said, my infections stopped for a good number of years, and then they gradually kept coming back again. And then last year was one of the worst years since, and I was in hospital 4 times with kidney infections. And I'm at the stage now where, because I've been on a solid antibiotic every day for 19 years, oral antibiotics don't work for me anymore for my infections. So if I get kidney infection, I have to be admitted to hospital and have to have IV antibiotics, which the course lasts for 4 to 5 days. So you're in nearly a week. So it isn't pretty, but it makes you better, and you have to be grateful for that. So I'm sure you're all wondering, in what way does your chronic kidney disease affect you at the moment? Well, my kidney function is at 32%, and that is, your original kidney function should be 120 and above. So I am stage 3. Once it hits stage 4, it's 29 to 15%, and then once you're in renal failure, it's 15 to obviously 0. So stage 4 is whenever you go on to dialysis. Now dialysis is a machine that cleans your bloods and filters it, because your kidneys are then at a stage where they're not able to filter the bloods properly, and this basically keeps you alive until you get a transplant. Now, you can be on dialysis for a number of years. I know people have been on dialysis for 10 years because they've been waiting for a transplant. So again, what way does my kidney disease affect me at the minute? Well, I have a lot of trouble with back pain, side pain where my kidneys are, fatigue. I have a lot of bother with restless legs, itching skin. I have cramps in my legs. I have nausea, and they're the main factors at the moment. Pain is probably the most. There's not a day goes by that I don't have pain. And you know, I try to live my life as much as I can at the moment, as I say, because I am very, very blessed to be at the stage I am in kidney disease. And you're probably thinking, what? What? But I am, because my function is 32%, and although that is not good, it is not renal failure at the moment. So I know myself, one day I will be at that stage and I will be on dialysis and I will need a transplant. So I am trying to live my life to the full at the minute. I'm trying to go out with my friends as much as I can. I'm trying to, you know, as best I can. Now, if I do these things, it does cause a lot of pain, nausea, everything. Like, my symptoms would flare. And people are thinking, "Helen, why do that to yourself? You're just making yourself worse." But I'm not. I am trying to live my life as best I can. I'm trying not to let this disease take over me. I'm trying not to dwell on it too much, because for my mental health as well, I've done that too much over the years. I let it stop me doing things, and then my function gradually got worse. I'm like, what am I doing? I need to live this up as much as I can, while I can. I want to travel while I can, because when you're on dialysis, you're not going to have the energy. Your energy is going to be worse. You know, you're on dialysis maybe 3 or 4 times a week for like maybe 4 or 5 hours. You know, you're not going to have the time. So my view at the minute is I'm trying to live it up while I can. Obviously, you know, there is things I can't do. Like, I can't, like, I have trouble standing for a long period of time, you know, more than 15 minutes, and I'm exhausted. You know, I have trouble with things like that, but there are things I can still do, and I still want to do, and I still try to push myself to do while I can. So, you know, you just have to do that. Another thing that I struggle with is blood pressure. I have very high, no, sorry, not very high. I have high blood pressure, and people always look at me and say, "You're 22 years old and you have high blood pressure. My God, you're too young to have that." And I'm like, I know, but you know, it's just a part of this disease. You know, there's nothing I can do about it, you know. But I remember the first time I got hospitalised with my high blood pressure, I was 14. And I remember telling my teacher, and she looked at me as if to say, like, "Come on, like, you're hospitalised with high blood pressure." But I was like, no, I generally was. It's like, you know, a part of my condition, I, you know, have high blood pressure. And that can be one of the leading causes of chronic kidney disease. So please keep an eye on your blood pressure. So that's one. And today, actually, I am going to the hospital to get a 24-hour blood pressure monitor on me, to try to see if I need more medication, or if I need to up my medication, or just to see what way it is at the moment. Because it can also, high blood pressure can also, with kidney disease, affect your heart. And I was meant to go on another tablet for my bladder, but it was going to be affecting my heart too much, and I can't you know, I need to look after my heart as best I can at the minute as well, because the kidneys and your heart are linked, because, you know, the blood pumps to each other and things like that, and I need to look after them both as best I can. So today I'm going to show you, I don't know if I'll be able to show you me getting it on, because I don't know if I'll be able to film that, but I'll show you what it looks like and things like that. So yeah, I'll include that into this video as well. Hospital, get my blood pressure monitor on, which is this wee box, and then it's like, oh, it's like right up and around my neck and in around into this here. So if I take this here a wee bit back, it's just like a wee protector for the cuff, Oh, switch my arms. Oops. Then that cuff, there's the cuff, and every 20 minutes it tightens up and takes my blood pressure, and then at night time it'll take it every hour. So I have that on just for 24 hours, and I just wanted to show you what it'll look like. Oops, maybe I should just keep it like that for the video. So it'll just be like that, and then obviously I don't keep the cuff down, I keep that up like that. Oops, I'm all wobbly with this camera. Oh, sorry. There, sorry for being all wobbly there. So yeah, I just I keep a jacket on them for the next sort of day, so that I'm not walking around in this big cuff out. But that's basically what it is. It's what a blood pressure monitor looks like. It's very compact. It's just a wee box, and then obviously the cuff tightens up every, as I say, 20 minutes and then an hour at night time. And yeah, so just wanted to include that in the video, as it's another aspect of kidney disease. And yeah, so it's a blood pressure monitor. And one of the last things I want to include in this video is, please look after your diet. I'm not one to preach about this. I should really have a better diet, but I'm going on to a dietitian to try to look after my kidneys more. But diet is one of the big things for chronic kidney disease. You know, your weight, again, high blood pressure, there too are the main causes of chronic kidney disease. Again, in my case, I was 3. I was just unfortunate and born with it. But yes, they're two of the leading causes, and just especially if you're over 50, please just keep checking your blood pressure. And if you have, you know, if you have back pain, if you have side pain, if you have swelling in your ankles, if you have a rash, if you have, what are the other symptoms? If you have stinginess when you pee, you know, things like this. If the big ones though are back pain. If you have back pain or side pain in your kidney of any sort, go to your doctor. Don't just assume you've strained something or anything. It's so much safer and better for you to check it just in case, because it's so crucial that we show people that the early stages, because chronic kidney disease is a silent killer, and you don't know you have it until the later stages. You may not, like, you could have it right now, not trying to scare you, but you could have early stages of chronic kidney disease right now and you may not even know it. And that's a scary thing. Like, you could be walking around, have a bit of back pain, and then all of a sudden have stage 3 kidney disease, and you're kind of like, shit. Shit, basically. Sorry for my language, but yeah, basically you're like, what happened? Like, I came out of nowhere. So it's so vital to get your bloods checked. If you have any queries at all, please ask your doctor, because as I said, the early stages are crucial, and if you get it early enough, you can help prevent the damage by looking after your diet, looking after your blood pressure, maybe easing off and work a wee bit, laying off in stress. There are things you can do to help your kidney function if you get it early enough. Now, if you get it where I am, there's not really much you can do to prevent it. It kind of just goes down. Now, in saying that, my function hasn't moved in the last 5 years, and that's the other thing with chronic kidney disease. That's why it can be so scary, because you don't know, like tomorrow I could be, like next week, I could suddenly plummet and be at 22%, and that could be me on the waiting list for dialysis. Or it could be, I could be on 32% for the next 10 years. It's such an unpredictable disease, and it's a scary, scary thing, and it does bring a lot of anxiety and, you know, worry, especially for me, because I'm so young and I want to travel, I want to have kids, I want to have a family, but I don't know if they're on my cards for me. I know you can't have kids when you have chronic kidney disease, but it can be very dangerous on yourself and on the baby, and there's a lot of things that I want to do. I'm going to get upset now. Sorry, but there is a lot of things, and that's why it's so crucial for us to try and let you know to look after your body where you can, and to try not to take it for granted. I know it's so much easier than said than done, but just try not to take your body for granted. And the very last thing I'm going to quickly touch on in this video is fundraising. Now, without fundraising, such companies or such charities such as Kidney Research UK, funding research to save lives, hence why I'm wearing this. This is why I'm wearing this. So this is one thing I want to touch on in this video before I start my, I don't know. So you're probably wondering why I'm wearing a hat that is purple, that looks like it has sticking up purple hair for no reason. Well, since today is World Kidney Day, and since March is Kidney Awareness Month, you wear purple, you know, or green, or purple or green. They're the kidney colours. But I am wearing this to make you aware of this charity, as they are funding in the UK to save lives. Funding is such a huge part of any charity, any research. This is Kidney Research UK, and they're such an important charity because they are scientists that are trying to find ways of either curing kidney disease, stopping the progression of it, things like that. And it's so important that you help fundraise for it. So one way that you can fundraise for it, which I'll quickly touch on and maybe go into more depth in another video, but one way you can is one way that I done it was by doing a colour run, and I decided to fundraise. You can do it for any charity, or you can just do it if you want to do it, just you like marathons and stuff. But I chose to do it for my words are so mumbly jumbled, I'm so sorry. I decided to do it for Kidney Research UK. And for thank you for it, now this, I didn't know I was going to get this, so don't be thinking, oh, she done this just to get a medal so she can show off to people. No, this is not why I done it. I didn't know that I was getting this, but I raised money for them anyway, and I raised over £500, and I would have liked to raise a lot more, but you know, every little helps. So as a thank you, they sent me out this, which I think is so beautiful. And it's just, you know, it's just a little thank you and a way to show people that, you know, there is different ways of fundraising. And because it was a run, they sent me a medal, which I thought was so cute. I was like, oh my goodness. So anytime that people ask me about fundraising, I do show them this, because sometimes people like, a little way to remember what they done, or you know, to be appreciated and thank you and things like that. They actually did send me a card as well. I'll actually go show you the card. So this was a little card that they had sent me to say a big thank you to raise the money for them, and I thought it was just such a lovely wee message, and just want to show you inside that they really do appreciate everything that you do. It is acknowledged, and you know, they do care, and it's so important to them that you are taking the time out to raise money for them. So it just says, to Helen, thank you for taking part in the Belfast, I don't know Belfast by the way because I'm from Northern Ireland, in the Belfast colour run and supporting Kidney Research UK, Diease. So that's just one way that you can raise money for them, as again, it's so important. And if you want to see a video on different ways you can fundraise and ideas and stuff, let me know in the comments below, and I will definitely do that for you as well. So another thing I want to quickly touch on before I end this video on our kidney awareness and my kidney story is another charity type organisation that I came across on Instagram, and it was created by a fellow kidney patient who had got a kidney transplant, and her name is Ashley. So Ashley came up with, she wanted to raise more awareness and make people more aware of kidney disease and the effects and how to save people's lives, basically. So she wanted to help people find donors and yes, save their life. So her page is called Get Loud for Kidneys, And I became an ambassador for her maybe a month ago, as again I want to help her to raise awareness and help save people's lives. So I will leave I'll leave a link to her Instagram down below. If you want another video on it in more detail and things like that, please let me know. But I just wanted to include Get Loud for Kidneys because it is another way that we are trying to get kidney awareness out there, let people know about it, and yeah, try to save as many lives as we can. I'm sorry but my hair is very flat, but yes, that's not the point. Also, I did purposely not fix my hair or put makeup or anything on for this video, is because, you know, when you have an illness, it's not all about doing your face up and awareness videos. It's not all about looking the best. It's about getting the point across. And this is what this is about. It's not about how I look. I hope you appreciate that and realise that's what I'm trying to do. So, sorry that this has been a very long video, but I just wanted to touch upon my story. I want to tell you a wee bit about Kidney Research UK, fundraising, the different stages of chronic kidney disease, the effects that it can have on you. What else I include? Some of the ways that you can prevent, or the signs of it. And then again, lastly, a wee bit on Get Loud for Kidneys. So I hope that this gave you a bit more insight to kidney disease. And if you want more in-depth video about things, if you want a video on the causes, you know, like facts about kidney disease, let me know in the comments below and I will definitely do another video. I might do another video about that near the end of the month, but I wanted to quickly do one today, as today is World Kidney Day, and it's just a quick video about awareness. Although you're probably thinking, hell, it's not a quick video and you're rambling on even more to make it even longer. So I'm going to end the video here, and thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment down below. I love hearing from you all, and I'll see you another day. Bye! There are so many different ways that we can spread awareness today, and one of the ways that I decided to do it was by baking a cake. I'm no cake artist or nothing like that, but I tried to do one just to show people that there's so many different reasons that we can get loud and spread awareness about kidneys, and I'll show you a clip of it right now. So I am in no way a good baker or anything, but I thought I would give it a go and make a kidney awareness cake. So here it is. Let me know in the comments below what you think. It is orange flavoured and it is red sponge.